ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मग्नानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we're starting the Lila of Vaman Dev, Canto 8, Chapter 17, Verse 1. Shri Shukavacha Ityukta Saditi Rajan Svabhartra Kashyapena Vai Anvatishthat Vratam Idam Dvadashaham Atandrita. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, after Aditi was thus advised by her husband Kashyapa Muni, she strictly followed his instructions without laziness and in this way performed the Payovrata ritualistic ceremony. So the Aditi wants a son, and then Kashyapa Muni instructs her to perform Payovrata. For advancement in anything, especially in spiritual life, one must strictly follow the bona fide instructions of the teacher. Mm. Prabhupada is saying for advancement in anything, especially in spiritual life, one must strictly follow, strictly follow. Yesterday, somebody had sent me a message saying, I hear from my guru, and my guru gives so many instructions. Which one should I follow? And then the devotee also said, also I follow for some time and then stop following. Mm. So this is normal tendency in Anishtita Bhakti. So we should always try with all sincerity to follow all the instructions given by Guru. Mm. And we should strictly follow. Now, of course, strictly means that we also have to see if there are bodily limitations to follow, then maybe not. But otherwise, one has to strictly try to follow. Aditi did this. She strictly followed the instructions of her husband and guru. So, in Aditi's case, she considered her husband itself as her guru, and husband had given instructions to perform Payovrata, and she strictly followed it. As confirmed in the Vedic injunctions, Yasya Deve Para Bhaktir Yatha Deve Tatha Guru. One should have complete faith in the guru who helps the disciple make progress in spiritual life. Again, we've discussed this multiple times. Problem seems like we look at Guru like an ordinary human being. Um, okay, let me put it in another way. Like we believe that Krishna has supernatural powers. Krishna is all powerful. But we don't believe that Guru is all powerful. Uh, Actually, Guru is a representative of Krishna. So Krishna endows Guru with whatever powers required to execute his function. So we should not look at Guru as an ordinary person because he looks like us, walks like us, talks like us, etc. Just like when Krishna appeared, those who did not understand Krishna, they thought that he was just human being but a great personality. So similarly, we should not misconstrue Guru to be an ordinary person. And we have discussed this multiple times. Guru sufferings just stem from disciples' sins. Otherwise, there is no reason for Guru to suffer, and we should not see him on the material platform. Guru will talk like an ordinary person. Like few weeks back, I had the fortune of meeting my Guru Maharaj, and I was just asking him, saying, because he was not, his health was not okay. So I was asking him that this health looks like, the health problems means our disciples are not following, are doing sinful activities. Now Maharaj did not reply yes to that, in the sense he said, no, no, I'm becoming old. Old age is catching up. So that is just their humility, that they think that they're ordinary jivas. But then if Guru says like that, we should not say, yes, 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 Guru Maharaj. Like we should not say like that, because we should understand that it is their humility that they're speaking like that. But it is our, we should understand that they are not ordinary. And so we should have complete faith in Guru. When Guru gives some instructions, we should understand, saying that following those instructions means perfection. Simple. Whatever be the instruction. Instruction could be anything. And like Prabhupada, sometimes we might have to take many, months, years to prepare to even think of executing Guru's instructions. Like Prabhupada took so much time because he was preparing. As soon as the disciple thinks independently, not caring for the instructions of the spiritual master, he is a failure. Very, very important. See, simple Prabhupada writes, disciple should not think independently. There's always tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. There is always an opportunity to inquire submissively. But if we think independently, unless Guru asks us to think independently, Guru has given an instruction, we don't have business, there's no business, we don't have any business to think independently about the decision itself. We can think now about how to execute the decision. So if one thinks independently, not caring for the instructions of the spiritual master, he is a failure. One might be doing some very big work in the eyes of others. Mm. And recent incident when Guru had asked certain disciples not to distribute books in a particular way. But because they were distributing Bhagavatam, almost it looks like they refused to, they did not care for the instructions, because they thought, oh, we are distributing Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is above all this. Nothing is above Guru. You might be distributing, 10,000 Bhagavatams, but if Guru is not pleased by your effort, then yasya aprasada na gati kutopi. There is no hope. And also as devotees, we should be careful not to be in the association of those devotees who don't care for their Guru. It's bad association. How much ever externally that person, devotee might seem elevated, but if the devotee does not care for the instructions of his Guru, very bad association. We have to make sure that we cut off such relations. Aditi very strictly followed the instructions of her husband and spiritual master, and thus she was successful. And this is a guarantee. There is guarantee of success. Hmm. If you simply follow the instructions of Guru, there is guarantee of success. There is no need to think otherwise. If we doubt it, then it's because of lack of faith. If we doubt, saying that no, no, Guru has said this, if I follow this, will I achieve perfection? If we even question like that, it shows lack of faith. It's like Yudhishthir Maharaj that did not want to lie. So he questioned Krishna, saying that, Krishna, I have never lied in my life. How can I lie now? So he did not have faith in following instructions. Of course, it is Krishna's desire that he put Yudhishthir Maharaj in that position to teach all of us. But we should understand, saying that, we should not try to remain independent. We should not doubt the position and power of the guru. So these things are very important. Otherwise, we will not make spiritual progress. If devotees are thinking, saying that I will make spiritual progress by my own endeavor. Hmm. Oh, I was giving one class somewhere, and one devotee asked me, saying that, yeah, Guru says so many things. Um, yeah, we follow all those things, but at the end of the day, how do we make progress on a daily basis? I was like shocked. He was like a devotee who's been initiated for some time, etc. So he was saying that we follow instructions, but then really, how do we make progress? Meaning, he did not understand that following Guru's instructions is the path to make progress. He was thinking, okay, maybe there is something else, and unfortunately, he was not like some neophyte, new devotee. Mm. Neophyte or not, I don't know. But he was not a new devotee. He was initiated by a very, I mean, yeah, exalted guru in ISKCON, who was now entered the spiritual world. So he was asking, how do we make progress? I felt so bad. I mean, he's accepted a guru, but he doesn't understand Guru Tattva. Mm. Which is why initiation means nothing. Really, I mean, for us, initiation means nothing. Unless a person is very firmly, clearly fixed in the understanding, philosophical understanding of Guru, disciple, Sambandha Gnan, and then that initiation is cheating, really. So I keep saying that it's the responsibility of everybody who recommends this devotees for initiation to take responsibility. Make sure that the devotees are educated, they're trained, they're given a clear understanding of philosophy, etc., etc. It's one thing not to be able to remember certain verses or mantras and all that. That is not a big consideration. The consideration is clear philosophical understanding. That is the most important thing. चिन्तयन्त्येकया बुद्ध्या महापुरुषमीश्वरं प्रगृह्येन्द्रियदुष्टा श्वान् मनसा बुद्धिसारथिः मनश्चैकाग्रया बुद्ध्या भगवत्यखिलात्मनि वासुदेवे समाधाय चचार payovritam. With full undiverted attention, Aditi thought of the Supreme Person of Godhead and in this way brought under full control her mind and senses, which resembled forceful horses. She concentrated her mind upon the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. Thus, she performed the ritualistic ceremony known as Payovrita. So, there's some process of what needs to be done for this Vrata, and then she followed it strictly. But more importantly, with full undiverted attention, she thought of the Supreme Person of Godhead with undiverted attention. So one way we can think about this, because Aditi absolutely like badly wanted a child. So she wanted that so badly that her whole focus was that Vrata, because that Vrata is supposed to fulfill her desire. Though the desire uh, seemed material, but because the process was to please the Supreme Lord, so she took that opportunity to focus her attention on the Supreme Lord because she wanted that. Now, similarly, we are chanting, but do we really want to achieve perfection? Because that is the question, big question. Um, Unfortunately, by doing Nama Aparada chanting, we are not going to achieve perfection. Inattentive chanting, we tell every time before 10 offenses, we say it's also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. And what does inattentive chanting mean? Inattentive chanting means either some devotee is coming and disturbing us, which I keep telling devotees, don't disturb others unless it's an emergency. Mhm. Even if there is some seva to be done, unless it's emergency, We should not disturb other devotees when they're chanting. In fact, it's not even expected that others bow or say Hare Krishna when they see a devotee who is chanting, because then the devotee will have to reciprocate. And if the devotee reciprocates, then he is doing aparad, nama aparad. Of course, then there's no question of chanting, with whatever, right? TV on or something on. Yeah, I mean, you can't do two things at the same time. You can't do chanting and also hear something or see something or do cooking or walk around here and there. Even here we see, devotees are on the left hand, they are taking some things for wash, right hand they're chanting. All this is Nama Parada chanting, and this kind of chanting, how much ever we do, it is useless. It's useless. Mm. So we have to be very, very careful, saying that the whole focus has to be on the chanting. And of course, if you have to do something else, then break your chanting, finish a round, keep your japamala aside, and then do. Because otherwise, it's going to be simply shamaya eva hi kevalam. We're going to simply waste time. It's not going to make much difference. Offensive chanting we can chant for millions of years. We will not make progress. We have to make attempts to stop offenses, and which is why in ISKCON, this process is there that we chant the 10 offenses before. It's not for some memory test. It's for practical application, and we need to, whenever we are hearing any instruction there, Nama Parada, we have to think, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am I doing this? That's the whole idea of those chanting those 10 offenses. And the core key one is inattentive chanting. So please don't do inattentive chanting. It's not going to be of any use. And which is why I normally say don't take services during chanting time. Mm. Or you do service, then do chanting. Some Matajis have to cook bhoga, then, yeah, don't do multitasking. Don't keep cooker, dal on one, stove, keep stirring with your left hand. First of all, cooking should never be done with the left hand. Serving should never be done with the left hand. We have to use right hand. And we are doing chanting with our right hand. So, which means that we'll end up stirring the vessel with the left hand, and putting some things into the vessel with the left hand, and which is not high class. Cooking for Krishna has to be done as single pointed activity. Again, single focused activity. Anything for that matter. Mm. So don't do multitasking. So we need that undiverted attention if you want to make progress. And so because with undiverted attention, she thought of the Supreme Lord, she brought under full control her mind and senses. See, it's so simple. It's really so simple. If we simply chant with full attention, automatically our mind will come under control. Automatically, you don't have to do anything. What is the test for that mind coming under control? Prabhupada says that if there is a provoking situation, you will not react. That is a test. Test for whether the mind is under control or not is that you are faced with a situation which is making you provoking. You want to say something, you want to say this is wrong, this is right, no, 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 blah, 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 blah. And then what will you do? You just keep quiet. That is a test whether how well we are chanting. It's very simple. See, Krishna Prema and all are like far off, far off things. Let's not even think about those right now. For now, immediately, at least we should have our mind under control, our senses under control. And that's the immediate side effect of good chanting. Immediate side effect. Prabhupada is writing, this is the process of Bhakti Yoga, Anya Bilashita Shunyam. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through karma or gnana. That is called pure devotion. Sometimes, I feel very sad. Uh, Young devotees, young means like brahmacharis or, like teenagers who are in Krishna consciousness. Somebody sent me a message saying that he was hearing some class of mine, and then I talked about pure devotional service, and he was asking, what is the verse for pure devotional service? So, like Prabhupada, if you read Prabhupada's purports, a zillion times Prabhupada has quoted Anya Vilashita Shuni. Youngsters with the energy to and ability to read and digest Prabhupada's books, I wonder, saying that why don't they know? And the answer is that they are not read Prabhupada's books. They are not reading Prabhupada's books. Mm. It's very sad. Prabhupada put so much of effort to educate us, to train us in this philosophy. Anyway, so one should render transcendental loving service to Krishna, not service to Krishna. There's a big difference between offering service to Krishna and rendering loving service to Krishna. Mm. And loving service is always favorable. Is always favorable. It will always have Krishna's happiness in mind. Mm. So today we are all very happy that we saw some new kind of garland for Radha and Krishna, and everybody is like since morning looking at that and they're feeling happy. So which means that Krishna is pleased. Mm. So if Krishna is pleased, then that means that the devotee has sincerely tried to please Krishna. And that is amazing. And that's how we should serve. We should serve in such a way that it might surprise us only. Saying that, oh, how did this happen? I didn't have anything like this predetermined. That means that Krishna gave the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Mm. So these are signs that we are making progress. One simply has to concentrate upon the lotus feet of Vasudeva Krishna. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. Then the mind and senses will be controlled and one can engage himself fully in the devotional service of the Lord. One simply has to concentrate his mind upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Krishna stands so beautifully in Tribhangi form. Mm. And his feet are also supporting that stance. So he has one leg flat on the ground, the other's leg is how Krishna stands, right? It's very different from Vishnu. Vishnu stands with both his lotus feet on the ground. Like we'd gone to Pandharpur, and so even Panduranga has both his lotus feet on the brick, Vitevari. On the brick he's standing with both his lotus feet uh, flat on the brick. But Krishna is somebody was reading on some book, and then he said that why Krishna, if he enters, cannot come out of the heart? Because someone straight cannot enter our heart because there is not so much place directly for somebody to enter. So some Acharya was saying this. So I'm not speculating. So they said Krishna is Tribhangi, so which means that he will enter in a bent form. So which means that somebody straight cannot enter. It's like you can think of like maybe there's a small hole and one has to go and then bend and then enter inside. And somebody who's too tall or who can't bend or can't enter that hole like that. So so they're saying that Krishna goes in and then because he's bent, so he goes inside in a bent way. Now when he goes inside in a bent way, it is very difficult to come out. Uh, so saying, once you let Krishna enter your heart, he can't come out. He can't come out because that's how he stands. That's how he's. Anyway, I can't explain why they are saying like that, but Acharya was describing like that. Anyway, so the point is that we have to concentrate our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. So focus, concentrating on lotus feet of Krishna. It means concentrating on the lotus feet of Guru. And concentrating on lotus feet of Guru means following his instructions. It's very simple. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadat. That's all. And but also apart from following instructions, also we can concentrate our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord also. The way he's standing, whoever is our Ishtadeva, we can visualize that form, whatever attracts us. For me, Radha Madhav, and then I can try to visualize the way Krishna Madhav is standing. So which is also good. And Mananam is good to practice. Uh, when we follow instructions properly, eventually we will come to the stage of Mananam. Mananam will happen automatically. Mm, mm, Many devotees, not many devotees, few devotees at least, have come to me and they have told about their experiences in chanting. And it's amazing actually. I was very, very happy hearing and that they're experiencing higher stages of devotion during that chanting. And unfortunately, I have not experienced those stages, but I know those stages exist theoretically. Mm, mm. And I was so happy that, so devotees are really sincerely trying to chant. And when we sincerely try to chant, then obviously we will see results. Mm. The devotee does not need to practice the Hatha Yoga system to control the mind and senses. His mind and senses are automatically controlled because of unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. Automatically controlled. Think about the Vrajavasis. Did they can mind of Vrajavasis go anywhere outside Krishna? No way. Because they love Krishna so much. Their whole life is Krishna. They don't care for their own personal situation. They don't care if they're ill treated. They don't care if they don't have food. They don't care if they don't have shelter. They don't care for anything. Their mind is steeped in Krishna. So then there is no extraneous effort to be made to actually focus on Krishna, concentrate on Krishna, think about Krishna, because Go, Gopi's problem was what? That when Krishna left them in the middle of Rasa Lila, then they were all very upset and they're talking with each other, describing his pastimes. Then, one of them gets very upset, I think, maybe it's Radharani. Then she says, saying that, uh, how much ever I try to forget this Krishna, he doesn't go out of my mind. That's their problem. Uh, that's their problem. They want, of course, it's an external statement. They want to take out Krishna from their mind, but he doesn't go. Mhm. For us, at least at this point of time, I can speak about myself, is the other way around. No. I'm trying to bring Krishna into my mind, and thousand other things are standing in front, saying that no, no, me, 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 me. Mm. But yeah, when we become attracted by Krishna, Radha and Krishna, then nothing else can enter our mind, our heart. Whatever else happens just is mechanical. Material life becomes mechanical. Now our current state is spiritual life is mechanical. But we have to reach a stage where material life becomes mechanical. Which means that things are just happening because they have to happen. Like Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says the pure devotee, all is eating, bathing, evacuating, working, this, that, whatever it is, it's all mechanical. It's just like bodies got used to these activities, and these activities are required for living. So these activities will happen. That's all. But they don't know what did they eat, what they did. It's not. Nothing is registering. Nothing is registering in their mind. Hmm. So then the mind and senses will become automatically controlled. It's very difficult. I can speak theory. I can speak tons of theory. Mm. That's why it said saying that the real test is at the time of death. We can give big classes, but no use if you're not able to apply these things in practice. And which is why sometimes preachers, we feel frightened, because we're saying so many things, but if you're not making progress, then it's just very scary. Because we know that how much more one has to make progress, and you're not making progress, it just creates so much of fear. Saying that, oh wow, what if I don't make progress? So that way, one can also become very humble, saying that I'm hopeless. If you don't know how much more we have to make progress, then we might think, okay, maybe I'm nearby, nearby, nearby. But preachers who understand, who read philosophy, they understand. They know, no, oh no, no, it's too far away, and then I'm so far away. Then it might create more fear in them, and they might become more serious. That's the only advantage of being, not only advantage, one of the advantage of being a preacher. The advantage, other advantage is um, Krishna is ready to give mercy, which is most important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is ready to give mercy, and without that mercy, is no hope. Mm, mm. So the mind has to get mm, gripped. Uh, there's one word that um, uh, what is that word? Graha. Graha. Somebody is caught by some planet. uh, so then there's a similar word called Krishna Graha. Krishna Graha means like caught by Krishna. Like, you have all these different planets, and somebody is going through some difficult time. They say, okay, you are under the influence, caught up by this Graha. So like that, we should become caught by Krishna. Mm, mm. We should. So which can happen only by hearing and good chanting. Good chanting is, I mean, days will just pass by, and then life is getting over. Uh, we are losing time, especially those who are around the 50-year mark. That means half of our life is gone. How much more time is left, we don't know. Mm. So we have to really become serious. Otherwise, one more life in this material world. No, no, no. Please, I don't want. Mm. तस्या प्रादुर्भूत्तात भगवानादिपुरुषः पीतवासाश्चतुर्बाहुः शङ्खचक्रगदाधरः. My dear king, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, dressed in yellow garments and bearing a conch shell, disc club, and lotus in his four hands, then appeared before Aditi. Just look at her. She just followed a Payovrata ritual, a vrata, as given by her husband, and she followed it perfectly. And then the Supreme Lord just appeared. you know, keep saying Bhagavatam every now and then, Lord keeps appearing in front of somebody. And you see, like, oh, we've been doing sadhana for so many years. No, nothing close to it. Hmm. Tam netra gocharam viksha sahasotthaya sadaram nanama bhuvika yena dandavat priti vifala. So she was priti vifala. Hmm. Hmm. Vifala means bewildered. She was bewildered because of her priti. When the Supreme Person of Godhead became visible, netra gocharam, to Aditi's eyes, Aditi was so overwhelmed by transcendental bliss that she at once stood up and then fell to the ground like a rod. So she didn't offer Panchang Pranam, she offered Dandavat Pranam. So she was so much in ecstasy, like she just like fell flat, mm, to offer the Lord her respectful obeisances. You should not imitate this. She was overwhelmed. She didn't know what she was doing, and she just सोत्थाय बद्धाञ्जलिर्रीडितुं स्थिता नोत्सेह आनन्दजलाकुलेक्षणा बभूव तूष्णीं दर्शनात् अति उत्सव गात्रवेपतुः. It was Taddarshana, meaning darshan of the Lord, Ati Utsava, not Samanya Utsava, Ati Utsava, great festival. Hmm. Her Gatra Vepatuhu, her body began to tremble. Aditi stood silently with folded hands, unable to offer prayers to the Lord. Because of transcendental bliss, tears filled her eyes, and the hairs on her body stood on end. Because she could see the Supreme Person of Godhead face to face, she felt ecstasy and her body trembled. And we can't imagine. Hmm? We can't imagine this. But The chanting of Hare Krishna can actually take us to this state if we do it right. Anyway, so she was in transcendental bliss, tears filled her eyes. So she was showing Ashtasattvika Vikar, bodily changes that happen due to ecstasy. प्रीत्या शनैर्गद्गदया गिरा हरिं तुष्टाव सा देव्यदिति कुरुद्वः उद्वीक्षति सा पिबतीव चक्षुषा रमापतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिम्. The Lord is Ramapati, Yagnapati, Jagatpati. O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigod is Aditi, then began offering her prayers to the Supreme Person of Godhead in a faltering voice and with great love. She appeared as though drinking through her eyes the Supreme Lord, who is the husband of the goddess of fortune, the enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies, and the master and lord of the entire universe. So he is Ramapati, husband of goddess of fortune, Yagnapati. He is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, and he is Jagatpati. He is the lord of the universe. This is one of the signs of love, that she appeared as though drinking through her eyes. That means that so much feeling that through the eyes only she's like drinking. You can't drink with your eyes, you have to drink with your mouth. But the eyes are seeing the Lord, and there's so much, fixed. They can't move here and there. And with so much of feeling, the devotee is looking at the Lord. It almost looks like he's going to drink up the Lord. Drink up the Lord means that nectar, nectar being drunk through the eye. It happens to all of us. It's not uncommon. We have our own Ishtadevas, and when we see their form, this is how actually we see them. Of course, this seeing might last just for a moment for us, because of our conditioned state, but for pure devotees, it may last for more prolonged time. After observing the Payovrata, Aditi was certain that the Lord had appeared before her as Ramapati, the husband of all good fortune, just to offer her sons all opulences. Oh, this was misunderstood. Okay, yeah, this was for protecting her sons. Yeah. She had performed the Yagna of Payavrata under the direction of her husband Kashyapa, and therefore she thought of the Lord as Yagnapati. She was completely satisfied to see the master and Lord of the entire universe come before her to fulfill her desire. Shri Aditiruvacha Yagnesha Yagna Purushachuta Tirthapada Tirthashrava Shravana Mangala Namadeya Apanna Loka Vrijinopashamo Dayadya Shamna Kridhisha Bhagavan Asi Deenanataha. So many words describing the Lord. Yagnesha, the controller of Yagna. Yagna Purusha, he is the person who enjoys the benefits of Yagna. He is Achyuta, he is infallible. He is Tirtha Pada. His lotus feet is the shelter or like pilgrimage place. He is Tirtha Shrava. He is celebrated as the ultimate shelter by all saintly persons. Shravana Mangala Namadeya. Hearing about whom is auspicious, chanting his name is auspicious. Shravana Namadeya Mangala. Apanna Loka. Apanna means surrendered. Apanna Loka Vrijina Upashama. Vrijina means dangerous material position. Upasama. Upashama meaning destroy all dangerous material conditions. Deenanatha is the only shelter of the downtrodden. The goddess Aditi said, O master and enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies, O infallible and most famous person. Infallible, Achyuta, most famous person. Most famous person. Okay. Whose name, when chanted, spreads all good fortune. O original supreme person of Godhead, supreme controller, shelter of all holy places. You are the shelter of all poor, suffering living entities, and you have appeared to diminish their suffering. Please be kind to us and spread our good fortune. Anyway, so some of these prayers might look like a little bit tinged with material desire. Yeah, but that's why they are Devatas, they are in the heavenly planets. The Supreme Person of Godhead is the master of those who observe vows and austerities, and it is he who bestows benedictions upon them. He is worshipable for the devotee throughout the devotee's life, for he never breaks his promises. So Krishna has said, Kaunteya pratidanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My bhakta will not get destroyed. And I was saying that this destruction is not just the destruction of his spiritual life. It is also that Krishna will prevent any material destruction which might cause spiritual destruction. Krishna knows what needs to be done. So he will do the needful even materially. Which Prabhupada quotes somewhere in Bhagavad Gita, some verse. He says, material welfare follows spiritual welfare for a devotee. So material welfare automatically comes, provided we don't want it. This is the problem. If you don't want material welfare, then material welfare will come. If you want material welfare, then Krishna might hold it back because then maybe we are too attached to material welfare and it might be an obstacle in our life. So he might not give us. But otherwise, it's not difficult thing for Krishna to bestow material welfare. But he holds back. Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. The Lord is addressed here as Achyuta because he takes care of his devotees. I mean, how many times Prabhupada says this? Krishna takes care of his devotees. Krishna loves his devotees. And he loves his devotees who love him. Not who are doing bhakti because of somebody asked me to do, so I am doing. Not for those devotees or neophyte devotees. As we make progress in Krishna consciousness, we serve Krishna because we want to serve Krishna. When we do like that, that means that there's the initial stages of love. Doing something for somebody else's pleasure is a sign of love. Of course, then that love has to become very intensified. Like that butter, what is that? Sweet rice, right? You have to keep condensing it and stirring, then it becomes thick, and the more thick it is, the more tasty it is. So it's like that. It has to, we have to intensify our sadhana, and then our devotion becomes more and more condensed. And then even the aroma will be nice. Krishna will like the aroma of our devotion. Anyone inimical to the devotees is certainly vanquished by the mercy of the Lord. Anybody who is trying to trouble devotees is going to get destroyed. It's a very simple thing. So devotees don't have to do anything themselves against some wrongdoer. Krishna will take care. But devotees are actually so exalted that they don't consider that somebody has done anything wrong. Mm. Mm. Once, Srivas Pandit was offended by somebody, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was super upset, and he was like very upset. And then devotees run to Srivas Pandit and says, Srivas Thakur, this devotee has offended you, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very upset with him. Srivas Thakur says, really? What did he do? How did he offend me? And then devotees are saying, Arey Baba, forget about all that. Just say you forgave him. That's all. If you don't say that you forgave him, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not going to leave him. So Shiva Sagar said, okay, whatever he has done, I've forgiven. It's like that. Devotees sometimes they don't even, exalted devotees, they don't even notice that somebody has done something wrong because they're so much absorbed in Krishna. We are so much absorbed in how others are doing mistakes, how others are not up to the mark, how we can find some mistakes in others. This is our consciousness. So where is place for Krishna there? No place for Krishna. But the Lord takes care of his devotees. The Lord is the source of the Ganges water, and therefore he is addressed here as Tirthapada, indicating that all holy places are at his lotus feet, and that whatever he touches with his foot becomes a holy place. Bhagavad Gita, for example, begins with the words Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. Because the Lord was present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it became a Dharma Kshetra, a place of pilgrimage. Therefore, the Pandavas, who were extremely religious, were assured of victory. Prabhupada makes, these are all my very favorite verses in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada makes one statement, Jayastu Panduputranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. It says, victory to those who are like Pandavas, on whose side Krishna will be there. So then that means that we have to become like Pandavas, meaning we have to become devotees. And when we become devotees, then Krishna is there with us, and then we'll be assured of victory. Any place where the Supreme Lord displays his pastimes, such as Vrindavana or Dwarka, becomes a holy place. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is pleasing to the ear. And it expands good fortune to the audience who hears it chanted. Again, it should be pleasing to hear. Mm. So I was reading something, and then in that, somebody is asking Krishna, Lalita Devi is asking Krishna, saying that, when you hear these two syllables, Ra, Dha, doesn't your heart break? Because Krishna has left Radha and gone to Mathura. So, reading that, and I said, see, just the words, just the syllables, Krishna, Radha, uh, are actually so attractive, that we can just simply get attracted by the name, by that sound. Mm. So for which again we have to chant with that attention, saying that, okay, I'm chanting the name of Krishna and Radha. And I keep thinking sometimes, saying that, mm, if it would have been so nice if Radha's name was there in the Nama. But for some reason, Radha's name is not in the Nama. We don't know why. Because maybe we're not qualified to take her name. Um, but yeah, Hare is not different. So when we are chanting, we should remember also saying that, see, I'm taking the name of Radha and Krishna. It makes it more personal. And then the chanting will actually give us this pleasing it will be pleasing to the ear. Hmm. And it expands good fortune to the audience who hears it chanted. Um, yeah. Owing to the presence of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Aditi was fully assured that the troublesome condition created for her by the demons would now be ended. So, so devotees have full faith in Krishna. They have full faith in Krishna, that Krishna will take care. Krishna will do the needful. Yesterday also we were reading on purport where Prabhupada said that devotees should desire for the pleasure of Krishna. And then if whatever devotees desire, Krishna will fulfill. So though there might it might seem like there are obstacles on the path, but if we sincerely desire, Krishna is all powerful. Krishna can do anything. So he can make it happen. But we should also have the faith that yes, Krishna will make it happen. Okay, I'll stop here. Nice purports. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam Mataji.
Uh, Prabhuji, Srimad Bhagavatam, actually we deals with like pure devotees and pure devotional service. It
Hmm.
stresses on. But here we see that the mother is doing with an intention of for her children.
Yeah.
So for us, like practicing devotees, why? Like my question is why this is there? Like
Hmm.
where she is doing with one particular desire, because
Yeah.
nowhere else we usually see. So how should I take it, like in a personal way? Because what I observe is over the years, openly we stop asking anything to the Lord for our
Yeah.
children or husband or family, but
Yeah.
still in the mind so much is there that they should be this one, like he should come up like this, like that, children, all that. So, but here we see that mm, she's doing a vrata for that, for her children. So
Yeah.
how should uh, we take it, like
Yeah.
as
So,
an
one thing we can understand that they're all devotees, and sometimes Krishna makes devotees do certain things, which obviously he knows here Vaman Deva had to appear. So he will make his devotees do certain things like that. Like, see, Arjuna was sense gratifying only, right? When he said, I'm not going to fight. Will we say no if Krishna comes and tells us do this? No, but does that mean that Arjuna is like a lesser devotee than us? Absolutely not. Right. So we should not. One thing is we should not directly um, connect with the person involved, saying that why is he doing like this? Because he's doing like that because that's the desire of the Lord. Number one. Number two. Bhagavatam also teaches us what we should not do. Mm, what we should not do. Um, so we should not pray for our family, this, that, and all that. We should just have faith in Krishna and leave it to him. Uh, so these are lessons, right? Bhagavatam is full of lessons for devotees. How to be, how not to be. Now, if there is a description of Indra or say some asuras, does it mean that we have to follow that? No. So that is why we have to use discretion. We have to hear the purports given by Srila Prabhupada to understand how we have to understand. Now, obviously, Prabhupada will talk about it somewhere in this pastime, saying that how to understand these prayers done by Aditi. So then we should. So when we have doubts like this, now we have to search. This whole purpose you have to read now. This whole from possibly even previous chapter, because the vrata thing happens before, right? And then somewhere Prabhupada would have answered this. But generally, I mean, I don't know exactly what reason Prabhupada would give for Aditi doing this vrata. But at least in this case, very clearly, it was because Vaman Dev had to appear. So situations had to be created for that, and so that was. And the Lord only engages his pure devotees for that, or devotees whom he trusts for such services. Yeah, so it's up to the Lord.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mm.
Maybe, I mean, I had these doubts earlier. So I had approached personal servants of Maharaj for this, and I mean, I got some answer, but I don't know whether it perfectly answers Mataji's questions. So first thing, woman cannot be detached to the family, because if she is detached to the family, she cannot perform the loving service
Mm.
to the family.
Mm.
One thing.
Mhm.
She has to become detached when she gets old. Even despite of becoming old, if she's still attached to her grandchildren, children, then it is imperfect.
Okay.
But for a woman, the Stri Dharma is different. And one more from Mataji I heard, and that Mataji, she directly consulted Maharaj. Maharaj stayed in their house for a couple of days. They have this Shaligrama Shilas at home. Both are Brahmin initiated, and she has one child, uh, girl child. Okay, and Maharaj, when he stayed in their house, he asked her to plan for one more child. Okay, then later she said, I cannot focus on my bhakti. I cannot do 16 rounds properly, taking care of children. I cannot do Prabhupada book reading properly. She complained all this to Maharaj. Then Maharaj at once told her, who asked you to do all that? You have to nicely serve your devotee husband and bring up your children in devotion. You can do it when you do not have, I mean, when you become old.
Yeah.
It's not that she has to stop 16 rounds and all. It's like focusing on 16 rounds completely, concentratingly and all. Maharaj told this to a woman devotee directly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but these are two different things. So I want to clarify. See, there's one thing which is called Stri Dharma, which is there is a responsibility. Stri Dharma means the responsibility. Similarly, there's Purusha Dharma, which is also responsibility. Now, nobody is saying that we should run away from responsibilities. At the same time, I've told this multiple times. See, the idea is that we cannot say I'm going to remain attached with my children for my for 25 years, 30 years of my life, and then I will suddenly give it up. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. Right? So the attachment cannot be on the bodily platform. I've told this multiple times. The attachment has to be on the spiritual platform. You have to look at your husband, children, everybody on the spiritual platform, respect them, serve them. That serving is the Stri Dharma. Right? But at the same time, it's also Purusha Dharma to take care of the family. If a devotee becomes like too, renouncing, no, no, I'm not going to earn money, it's not good. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that he should become attached to his work. So don't think that non-attachment, I mean, only if we are attached, we can do our work properly or we can show love and affection. Why? If you treat somebody as a devotee, we have, here Shashank Prabhu's daughter, Narayani. Now, we are not attached to her like family, but we are attached to her as a devotee. See, this is difficult to do. So we can take the easy way out of saying that I'm going to be emotionally connected, attached to my children. But it's not going to be easy to come out of it. Because then, see, then children will face problems. Their life will be difficult. Then they have family, they have issues. Then what will you do? Suddenly will we just disconnect ourselves? Okay, I gave my daughter in marriage, over. From today, my heart has become stone. It's not going to work that way. Right? So we should not remain materially attached. It's a skill. That is why Krishna says it's an art. Working is an art where you are dedicated, you're doing your duty dutifully, but you're not attached. Anasaktasya vishayan. Anasakta, we should not be attached. You should be spiritually attached. And this itself is an art we have to learn. We have to learn to see people in our house as souls, as devotees, and serve them accordingly, not on the material platform. The second thing about having a second child and not necessarily doing 150 things in bhakti is a temporary situation. Maharaj is giving emphasis saying that having two children is more important, and then for some years your sadhana will be off. That's all it means. It's nothing else, right? That having that second child for the which is required is required because we are also building ideal families to show to the world. And so yeah, two children is ideal for families, right? And for various psychological reasons of the child, etc., etc. So it's required, but it basically means that for doing because you have 150 services to do, that you give up your basics three dharma, that is not acceptable. That's what Maharaj is saying. And sometimes if there are situations, Maharaj might even say, okay, no, it's okay. So it depends. We should not see, when we should understand one thing: when a guru is instructing his disciple, we should not generally take things out of context. If we have a similar situation, we should again go and ask guru, because guru will do personal instructions will be given. Some might be common. Generic direction might be, have two kids. But if suppose say somebody, first marriage, a marriage only happened late, first child itself is like, just born, and then already women is, she's aging and it's not very healthy, or, not safe to have a child at that point of time, Maharaj will say no. So we should not generalize these things, but general direction is that young couple who have one child, they should consider having a second child, because that's good from more than one perspectives, right? But please don't misunderstand that women have to have material attachment. I have never heard anywhere. Prabhupada says that it's natural to have affection towards the family. That one statement he writes in Bhagavad Gita. But that affection, we also have to convert that affection to spiritual affection and not material. Otherwise, it's difficult. Our conditioning, we are naturally already pulled. We don't have to even let ourselves go in that direction. We are naturally dragged in that direction. So I don't know who said, but with all due respects, that's not my understanding. Okay. Anything else? Yeah.
So you mentioned, I mean, I read also many times, mind gets fully controlled when we are doing unalloyed devotional service.
Yeah.
This Prabhupada writes many. So Prabhu, whenever I'm focusing on fully control. If we are getting thoughts or any pastime or anything, like even if you're simply traveling in metro or any time, just thoughts of Krishna or pastimes or anything related to Krishna, then does that mean it is going in that stage of fully control or still?
It's going in the direction, but fully control means fully control, meaning no other. Fully controlled also doesn't mean that there are no other thoughts at all. There are no thoughts of sense gratification. All thoughts are also connected to Krishna. That is fully controlled. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll close. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktarvrinda ki jai. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktarvrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.